Your name, ma'am, and what the Lord has done for you. Once I was blind, now I can see.
Thank you very much. My name is Mrs. Ada Uzodinma, and this is my first time doing a testimony of this sort. You know, when God has done so much for you, you're robbing him if you do not come and testify. It all started in the year 2024, and I was just in the podium here, and Apostle was flogging us and telling us, oh, if you're looking for a job, or you're a single mom, and you're there, pray. Instead of being idle, pray, pray, pray. And that is how I started a prayer journey. So I thought it was 7 days prayer and fast, but I didn't feel satisfied, and I entered 14 days, from 14 days, 21 days, and that's how I started fasting throughout the year 2024. I entered 2025, I was still fasting, because I knew he said that when you get there, you will know. So I didn't feel satisfied. So I kept fasting and praying, waiting on God for answered prayers, because at the time I was praying for my career, until I found out that I couldn't pray anymore. Like, I was getting tired, because I'm also a member of the prayer department. So during that period, we usually fast. I noticed I couldn't join the prayers anymore, and I thought it was malaria. And I went to do a test, and I found out I was pregnant. And from that March 2025, I decided to rest, because I felt like I was in a very long prayer journey, and that was when the devil came in, and I didn't know. So 18 weeks into my pregnancy, I noticed I couldn't come for prayer department. I couldn't come to prayer. So I decided to stay at home and listen online. And while I was climbing the staircase, I realized that my water broke at 18 weeks. And I had a ruptured sac, and I had to rush to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, they said I have an inevitable miscarriage, which means that I have to take out the baby. So I told them they should give me a day at a time. So the next day, so many doctors came in trying to draw this scenario to me that, a baby stays in a sac like a balloon. And once it's ruptured, the water leaks out. So they asked me to cough, and it was just gushing out. So they said there's no way to preserve the baby. So even if they want to preserve the baby, it's 1 week at most. And so many doctors came trying to explain to me, but for some reason, I felt like I needed to pray first. So I called Pastor Kenny, our HOD, and I told him what happened. He now told me that if a dead baby can be brought back to life, your own is a small case. He came and visited me at the hospital, prayed for me and with me, and empowered me and said, you can do this, and he left. And that was how my journey started at that hospital. I noticed that these doctors were very relentless in ensuring that this baby goes. I told them I want to do a scan. And when I did a scan, I found out that the baby's heartbeat is still okay. My cervix is still closed. It's just that the water has reduced. So normal water level is between 5 mil to 25 mil. So at the time, I was 7 mil. So it was quite scary, and I had an infection as well. So they said it might lead to sepsis, and from sepsis, it might lead to my womb getting removed, or even lead to death. So it had to be, I had to go. So I knew that was not the right place for me. So I prayed, and I discharged myself. When I discharged myself, I got home, and 2 days later, I started leaking again, and this time around, it was very bad. Because at the hospital, they even gave me misoprostol to take and said, oh, this is the only option. So I had to leave. I needed a hospital that would align with my faith. So at home, when I was at home, when I found out I started leaking again, then I went to take a wash to go back to the hospital, and I had God, and he said, be still and know that I am God. And when I held on to that word, so while I was taking a wash, he said, call your sister, tell your sister to go to a certain hospital and ask them if they can take out a baby at 24 weeks. So I called my sister, and I told her, and she went to that hospital, and they said yes. But apparently, in Nigeria, they don't take out a baby until they are 28. I think the best they have done is 27 weeks. So when they went there, the hospital said yes. It's one of the top hospitals in the country. So I went there, and when I got there, they checked my womb, and they found out that my sacs have dried up, no water. So fear wanted to kick in, and I remembered, and God spoke to me and said, they that know their God, they shall be strong and they shall do exploits. I knew where I am from. I've been cooked in this place since 2021. I know my God. I know the God of Apostle Joshua Selman. So while I was in the hospital, Apostle was in South Africa conference, the Travail conference or something like that. So it was related to my scenario. He said, when you travail, there's a time there will be warfare. And I knew that it was warfare. So I started, and I went to my altar, and I roared. And 3 days later, I usually go for scan every day. I found out that the water, so while I was going to the scan on that first day in the new hospital, a nurse spoke and said that she heard that carrot juice helps. And I said, but the sac is ruptured. Well, anyway, I believed it might be God that is speaking to me. So I called my sister and said, every carrot in the hospital, get it. So I started taking carrot juice, and I kept praying. And 3 days later, the doctor checked and found out that what was dry, 2 sacs, there's now water in it. So that was how it started increasing. At that time, it was 9 mil. It increased to 12 mil. It increased to 22 mil. This is someone that said, without a sac, that it's not possible for water to get in. I don't know how the sac got mended, since it was like a balloon. I don't know. But I held on to my God. And I stayed, and they monitored me for a few weeks and found out that no more infection, no more leakage. They discharged me. I carried my baby from that time till 32 weeks plus. And I gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. And
Are you still sitting there? Give the Lord a shout of praise.
Apostle usually say that he was sent for a few. I am one of those few that Apostle sent to. I've soaked myself. I know my God. And I stood by him, and he did not put me to shame. I want to thank Apostle Kenny, Apostle Promise, those that came to visit me during this difficult time, and some of my sisters here in Koinonia, those that stood by me. My testimony is complete. My baby is fine. When I gave birth, they were checking the baby. They were trying to know, I defied science and all those. They want to know if there's anything. We are discharged after 1 week, and I just want to give God all the glory. Thank you.
Can we join her in celebration?